Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning Canadian English. I'm your host, Jen.
And I'm Mike. It's great to be with you all for episode 45. Today, we're tackling a topic that is so important for anyone new to Canada: driving.
That's right. Specifically, we're covering driving in Canada, essential vocabulary, and summer road terms. Getting a driver's license and understanding the rules of the road was a huge step for me in feeling settled here.
Absolutely. Canada is such a vast country, and in many places, a car isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. So let's start at the very beginning: getting your license. Mike, what was that process like for you?
The licensing process. It can seem a bit complicated at first because most provinces have what's called a graduated licensing system.
Graduated licensing?
Yes, it means you get your full license in steps or stages. For example, in Ontario, you start with the G1. To get that, you have to pass a written test, which is also called a knowledge test. This tests your understanding of road signs and rules.
Right. I remember studying for that. So many signs to memorize.
Exactly. Once you have your GON, you can practice driving, but with a fully licensed driver in the car with you. After about a year, you can take your first road test.
The road test.
Yes, that's the practical driving exam. If you pass that, you get your G2. With a G2, you can drive on your own, but with some restrictions, like zero alcohol in your system.
That makes sense. It gives new drivers experience before they're fully licensed.
Then, after another year with your G2, you take a final, more advanced road test to get your full G license. Other provinces have similar stages, though the names might be different. It's always best to check the official government website for your province.
That's great advice, and I highly recommend taking lessons from a certified driving instructor. They really know what the examiners are looking for in the road test.
That's a really important point, Mike. The rules can vary slightly from province to province, and for our listeners who might already have a driver's license from another country, the process can be a bit different, right? Oh, definitely. A good driving school is worth the investment.
Absolutely. Canada has agreements with many countries that allow for a direct exchange of a driver's license. This means you might not have to go through the full graduated licensing system. You just need to pass an eye exam and provide the right documents. Okay, so once you have your license, you're on the road. Let's talk about some basic vocabulary for everyday driving. Jen, what was one of the biggest differences you noticed?
The highways, especially in southern Ontario, the highways are huge. The 401 highway can have more than 16 lanes in some parts. It was very intimidating at first.
I agree. And on a highway, you have to merge into traffic. That means you use an on-ramp to speed up and smoothly join the flow of cars. It takes practice to judge the speed and distance correctly.
Yes, merging can be stressful. And what about in the city? A key word is intersection. This is where two or more roads cross each other. You'll usually find traffic lights there.
Right. Green for go, yellow for slow down, red for stop. And an important rule to know is that in most of Canada, you can turn right on a red light after a complete stop, unless a sign says you can't.
Oh, that's a good point, but not on the island of Montreal. I learned that the hard way. It's important to always watch for signs.
Very true. Another important sign is the yield sign. It's a triangle, and it means you must slow down and let traffic on the other road go first. You don't have to come to a full stop if the way is clear, but you must be prepared to.
Yield. And of course, always watch the speed limit. It's posted on white signs and is in kilometers per hour, not miles per hour. This is a big one for our American listeners.
A very important distinction. Getting a speeding ticket is not a fun way to learn the difference.
Absolutely. And speaking of specific rules that can carry heavy penalties, we should definitely talk about school zones. These are designated areas around schools where the speed limit is significantly reduced during school hours to protect children. Okay, now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about something more exciting: summer driving. Canada is beautiful in the summer, and it's the perfect time for a road trip.
A road trip, a classic Canadian experience. But with summer comes another season, the construction season.
That is so true. It feels like every road is being repaired in the summer. You'll see a lot of bright orange signs and pylons, which are also called traffic cones.
Indeed, when you enter a construction zone, you often have to slow down. The speed limits are much lower, and the fines for speeding can be doubled, so pay close attention.
Right, for the safety of the road workers. Sometimes construction will close a road, and you'll have to take a detour. That's an alternate route to get to your destination.
Yes, and your GPS might not always be up to date with the latest detour, so keep an eye on the signs. Another word you'll see, especially in the spring and early summer, is pothole.
Pothole? What's that?
A pothole is a hole in the road surface. The harsh winters can damage the pavement, and when the snow melts, these holes appear. Hitting a big one can damage your car, so it's best to drive around them if you can do so safely.
Ah, okay, I have definitely seen those. So where are people going on these summer road trips? I hear the term cottage country a lot.
Yes, cottage country refers to the areas with many lakes and forest where people have cottages or summer homes. On a Friday afternoon in the summer, the highways heading out of big cities towards cottage country are often very busy.
That sounds lovely. A good reason to learn how to drive.
All right, let's finish up with a few safety tips and unwritten rules that are helpful for newcomers. One of the biggest things to be aware of, especially when driving outside of major cities, is wildlife.
You mean animals on the road?
Exactly. You will see yellow signs with pictures of deer or moose. These signs warn you that these animals frequently cross the road in that area. It's most common at dawn and dusk. You need to be very alert.
Wow, that's very different from driving in a big city.
It is. Another thing is about lanes on the highway. This is more of an unwritten rule. The leftmost lane is generally considered the passing lane or fast lane. You should use it for overtaking slower vehicles and then move back to the right.
So the right lanes are the slow lanes?
Correct. If you're driving at or below the speed limit, you should stay in the right-hand lanes. It helps traffic flow smoothly and is considered polite driving etiquette.
That's a great tip. It's those little cultural things that can take a while to learn.
It is. And finally, while this is a summer driving episode, remember that Canadian driving also involves winter. That is a whole different set of skills and vocabulary with things like snow tires, black ice, and whiteouts. Perhaps a topic for a future episode.
Definitely. Let's save that adventure for another day. Wow, we covered a lot of ground today. We talked about graduated licensing with the G1, G2, and G. We learned about road tests and knowledge tests.
And then on the road, we define terms like highway, intersection, merge, and yield.
And for summer driving, we learned about road trips, construction zones, detours, potholes, and the famous cottage country.
We hope this vocabulary helps you feel more confident behind the wheel. Driving in a new country can be stressful, but with preparation, it opens up so many possibilities.
It really does. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Learning Canadian English.
Join us next time when we'll be talking about another essential topic, navigating the Canadian healthcare system. Until then, drive safe.
Bye, everyone.